Hello students, today we are going to discuss spectrum, and in this the first topic is prism. So first of all, let us remind what is a prism. So prism is just like rectangular slab. It is a refracting medium, it is a refracting surface, or you may say it is a device generally made of glass. But how it is designed, it is generally triangular in shape when you look at it, but actually it has three surfaces which are rectangular and two surfaces are triangular. So total surfaces are 5, out of which 3 are rectangular surfaces. I have tried to made it here like this is the basic prism section which we draw in the notebooks, but actually these are the surfaces, number 1, number 2, and this is the base is also a rectangular surface. So what happens in a prism is that when we see any object, suppose it is an object, and we place it in front of one of the rectangular surface, this rectangular surface, and we watch it or see it through the other rectangular surface, then we find its image over here. So what is the prism action? That it bends the ray of light falling on its one of the refracting surfaces which is rectangular. It bends that ray towards its base. This is the base of the prism. So this is the prism action which you should all remember, that whenever you draw a ray towards one inclined surface which you draw as a line, that ray should bend towards the base of the prism and finally emerge towards the base of the prism, towards this line. You should always see that if I produce the incident ray like this is dotted because the ray finally bends like this, but I have shown this dotted ray as the direction of the incidence. Incident ray was this, which was actually going towards this direction, but because in between its path prism is encountered, so this ray bends towards the base, and in the prism it is traveling along this bold line, and while coming out of the prism it should bend towards the baseline, towards this line. So bending should be towards the baseline. It should never be shown above this direction, because this is a final direction and it has got bent towards this direction. And when a viewer who is near this edge, when he or she sees this ray, because the rays enter our eyes when we view from this side, then we perceive that the rays are coming from somewhere over here, and the image in our eyes, on our retina, it is formed over here. So we find the image of this object placed over here, eye position. So this is what is the prism action. So let us revise once again what are the definitions. Firstly is the definition of the prism. It is a transparent refracting medium bounded by 2 triangular and 3 rectangular surfaces which are generally made of glass, or it may be some other refracting mediums also. There are total 5 surfaces in a prism, means 5 plane surfaces, and the refracting surfaces are generally rectangular surfaces which are inclined by some angle. Every surface is inclined to the other surface with some angle, and this angle, when we place the prism in this position, that the base is also a rectangular surface, and we place the candle or any object over here, then these two surfaces, these other two rectangular surfaces, they become the refracting surfaces, because light enters into the prism through one rectangular surface and it leaves the prism by the other rectangular surface. So these two rectangular surfaces, they are inclined by some angle, and this angle is called angle of prism, A. And there is one more angle which is important in this, is angle of deviation. You see now, look at different angles which are drawn here. Number 1, when light ray strikes on the surface of the prism, this becomes the point of incidence, and at this point of incidence we draw normal in our diagrams. Now this line is a normal, and this normal is perpendicular to the surface, right? Always draw it carefully. Now this normal, it makes an angle with the incident ray, which is called angle of incidence. Now I have produced this ray with my scale. I have actually produced it without using a scale, but you should use a scale to produce it further. Why I have produced it? To study the prism action, and this is called the direction of incidence. After this incident point, you have to draw the refracted ray in the prism. Now this to this one is the refracted ray. You may call it P point, you may call it Q point, and you may call the prism as A, B, C. This is the principal section of the prism, and we may call it as PQS ray. Now this is my refracted ray, PQ ray, and the angle which this PQ ray makes with this normal, this is the first refraction angle. Now this ray has to come out and it strikes over this surface, the other surface, the surface which is the other refracting surface, which is AC in the diagram. Now after this, striking at this point, you should produce it further. This will be the direction of the refracted ray. Actually it was the direction when the ray was coming from denser to rarer medium, but because the change of medium is encountered here, this ray will bend away from the normal, being traveling from denser to rarer medium. That's why again we have bent it away from the normal. Now this was the normal at this surface, this is second normal, this you may call as first normal. Now this ray makes an angle with the normal, which is called angle of emergence. And what is this angle? This is the deviation. At first point the deviation took place here. Deviation means by which amount the ray, which was actually going in a direction, it has got bent. So the first ray was going in this direction and it is bending by this amount. This is called first deviation. Secondly, the same ray which was traveling in the medium, it was intended to go straight like in this direction, but again due to change of medium, refraction has taken place, and the ray which was intended to go in this direction, it bent in this particular direction, QS. So it bends by this angle, which is called the second deviation angle. Then the third deviation. What is this angle? This is the angle which is made by this incident ray's direction. See, my line is little bit curved because I have drawn it without using a scale. So this is the direction of incidence. And what is this line? This is the line which I have drawn by back producing my QS ray. Again with the help of a scale you should draw it. This is by mistake, I have drawn extra line with a pencil, just ignore it. Now when this line, which is back produced by using a scale, meets the incidence direction, they make an angle over here. Now this angle is the actual deviation angle made by the prism, right? Now how will you see this? How will you understand this concept? In the diagram you see, this is my pen's position. This was the actual direction of the angle of the incident ray. Incident ray was supposed to travel along this direction when there was no prism over there. Because the prism is there in between the direction of incidence, so the incident ray, it bends by this amount and it is coming towards the eye in this direction. Now by which amount it is bending? By this amount. So this is the angle of deviation, right? So this is the actual deviation produced by the prism and it is called delta. It's a Greek symbol. We denote this angle by delta. And what is its definition? Its definition is the angle of deviation. It is the angle between the refracted ray and the direction of the incident ray. That's it. Students, you may read the whole topic from your chapter number 5. Chapter number 6 is related to spectrum. Chapter number 4, the first chapter of refraction, in which they have also explained prism. And after that you continue from this topic. This is the total deviation, which is actually the sum of first deviation and the second deviation angle. Now there are some factors on which the actual deviation angle depends. Number one is the angle of incidence. Number 2 is the angle of prism, and third is the material of the prism, means the nature of material of the prism, which is generally represented by mu. Mu, that is the refractive index, which we have to study in chapter number 4, that tells us that the amount of bending is actually the property of the material which is bending, with the material which is the refracting medium, and the refracting medium's property is reflected by the refractive index. So the three factors on which the angle of deviation depends are angle of incidence, angle of prism, and the refractive index of the material. There we will also study that the refractive index actually depends upon the color of the incident light, and the color of the incident light is the property of its wavelength. So more the wavelength, less will be the refractive index of that for that light of a particular medium. For example, for blue light has got lesser refractive index, lesser wavelength than the red light. So red light's wavelength is more than the blue light's wavelength. That's why red light bends less and blue light bends more in the same medium. So we may say that the refractive index for blue is more than the refractive index of red, which implies that wavelength and mu are inversely related. More the wavelength, less will be the refractive index for that particular light. The same fact about the wavelengths and the colors of light is proved by the Newton's experiment. Newton used white light and he passed that white light through a prism. What he observed then, that when he keeps some opaque plain object and use it like a screen or a white screen, he observed that on that screen he found a pattern of 7 colors, which is in this order, that violet was at the end and red was above all. So it is Vibgyor, that 7 colors we see on the screen. And in this also, this is very much evident that the violet light was bending the most and the red light was bending the least in the same prism. Now this proves that red being the longest wavelength, it is deviating by the least angle of deviation. It means that the same prism, same refractive index, same material is showing different refractive index for different colors. So maximum refractive index was faced by violet and the least refractive index was faced by red. And you should all learn all the names of the colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, in the same order. And the phenomena of splitting of white light into 7 colors is called dispersion of white light. So phenomena of splitting of white light by a prism, it is must to write that by a prism into its constituent colors is called dispersion. And this phenomena, this dispersion, proved that white light is made up of 7 colors. Newton further used another prism in front of this to discover whether more colors are present in white light, and it was found that no further splitting was there. So it was proved that all the components of white light are these 7 colors only, and they have been shown here in the discrete manner, but actually they are merged into each other. There is a continuum of the colors in this spectrum. Now what is spectrum? The pattern or the band of colors which we see on the screen when we pass the white light through a prism, that is called a spectrum. And in your book the range of wavelengths is given, so you have to go through these ranges, and if you can learn, it's very good. Otherwise you may learn that from 4000 angstrom to 8000 angstrom, or from 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer is the range of visible light, that is violet to red. Then comes the topic, what is the cause of white light dispersion, or what is the cause of formation of spectrum? The cause is the same, which is actually the cause of refraction of light. If you remember, what is the cause of refraction of light? That light changes its path. What was refraction? That light when passes from one medium to another, rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal. Reason was the speed of light was different in different medium. Similarly, the speed of light of 7 colors, all the 7 colors, they have different speeds in the same medium. Now due to their different speeds, they bend by different amounts. This is how you will draw the spectrum. First line is very much important, which is not shown in some of the books, that incident rays direction you should draw first. Then you draw the 7 lines beneath this. That is, that incidence direction should be above these 7 lines. I have drawn 6. This will be my 7th line. Then the 7 rays should bend towards the base like this. Then you show a screen over here. Join the rays to the screen. You have to draw the arrows also. So draw arrows on all these rays and write down Vibgyor. This is how you show dispersion. So what is the cause of dispersion? Different lights have different speeds, different colors or different wavelengths of light. They travel with different speeds in the same medium. That's why they deviate by different angles. So angle of deviation of red is this, and angle of deviation of violet is this much. So you may see that violet's deviation is very much more than the deviation produced by red color. I told you what is the reason. Lambda of red is more than the lambda of violet or blue. Violet or blue is the same thing. These are the blue family or violet family colors. Thank you so much, students. Next topic, in the next video we will discuss electromagnetic spectrum and its broad classification.